It's Gary Crowley live from Wembley Stadium. And my very special guest is Noel Gallagher. The band playing the second of their sold-out nights here. They're on stage at 8:30. Well, let's talk first of all about the European tour, if we can. You know, what sort of reactions have you had to that?
Good. The best one we've had since fucking started the band, to tell you the truth. No, it's been good. You know, it's been different and that, but we're fans band. You know what I mean? They've joined it sort of, which is good.
If I had £1 for every time the doorbell rang at 4 in the morning, all right, no, you're mad for it. No,
yeah.
Look, Liam lives round the corner, it's number 9, round there, big black gates. He's always mad for it.
Go on.
I just wondered, what kind of sort of memories, a couple of lines about each album and what they kind of sort of mean to you, what they bring back to you.
Well, this is the one that everything else is, for me anyway, should be judged by, and it is. I feel anyway that it is, and I'm being biased because I'm in the group, but I think it's the greatest debut album that was ever written by anyone. If I could change anything, I would probably put it down to 10 tracks and binned off Diggy's Dinner, because it's a bit of a Cockney one of them, innit? All right, Governor. But people don't write albums like that anymore, least of all me. When he's got the first 3 tracks, Rock and Roll Star, Shaker Maker, Live Forever. Supersonic, Cigarettes and Alcohol, Slide Away. I mean, it sort of defines 90s rock and roll, doesn't it?
This is a good one, but it's like I don't like my voice, and it's like it's good. It's a great, first album.
That fella, that pays for the nice car that's outside, pays for the wife's jewellery, it pays for the swimming pool and the house in Spain, it paid for a very fucking large drug habit for a while.
That one I can't remember doing anything on it.
Why?
Because it was just off my fucking head, so I just can't remember a niche about that.
It pays the tax bill, it pays your wages, probably yours, pays your TV bill, bought you Sky, kept the economy of England going for a while, got a lot of people very, very fat, and it's got She's Electric on it.
That one I can remember all about. I just think there's some good sounds in it, man, some good music, and it was just a little bit mentally produced, you know what I mean? It was like a bit scatty and but that's what we are, man. But I'd say that one, so go and fucking buy it, there's loads left.
That should have been called The Greatest Rock and Roll Swindle. And I do like this album, because it's on my own record label. But, like I said before, I've got great memories of all of these. Don't remember too much about that one, obviously, or The Swindle. I don't remember too much about that one. But if I had to pick 2, it'd be these 2, I think. But there you go. Do you want to sell them?
And what about the last 7 years, Liam, as well?
Yeah.
I mean, how's it affected you, do you think?
I don't think it has. It doesn't affect me. I think it's affected people around us. It's not affecting me. This is what I want to do. And even if I weren't doing this, I'd still be causing a fucking stir somewhere else. If I was a barman, I'd still be, I don't know, doing it in a little odd way, you know what I mean? This is me, this is the way I am, whether I'm in a band or not.
And
I was always a little twat. I always will be.
Every time I say this, people think I'm taking the piss, right? And I'm not. On the day that I signed off, I vowed that I would never go and sign on again. Now, the band could have lasted 6 months, We knew we were going to get 1 single out. We may never even have made an album because of the volatile state of the group. We didn't fucking know what we were doing. I hadn't even written any songs, you know what I mean? And we got a 6-album deal. But I knew that I didn't ever want to go back and sign on again. I remember signing off, and the girl who took my signature was going, uh-oh, because I've been going there for years. And she was going, well, have you got a job? And I was going, better than that, man, fucking pop star now. And I vowed never to see the inside of that building again.
Well, let's fast forward if we can to
If I was to go back and experience it, again, then I'd take a lot more of it in. But I remember us flying over Nebworth, on the day of the gig, and we were just sort of looking down on the crowd and nothing. you know. We were just worried about how many cans of Stella there was in the fridge when we got into the dressing room. Not that it was the biggest gathering of people that England had ever seen for 2 days on the trot. As soon as we got out of the helicopter, we were saying to the tour manager, "Are all the Stellas in it? Are they cold? Has the match started yet?" Because I think United were playing Newcastle in the Charity Shield.
Well, of course, Wembley Stadium beckons.
Yeah.
2 sold-out shows.
Piece of piss.
What can people expect from the show? You know, can you give us an idea? You know, what you're going to give us?
I think we're doing about 5 songs from the new record, and the rest of it's all great hits, really, I think.
70,000 people going absolutely ballistic. What kind of things are you sort of like thinking about? Are you sort of, you know... Sorry, go on.
I'm not thinking of anything. It's easy, man. That's my job. That's what I do. That's what I've been doing for 8 years, 9 years. It's a piece of piss. And if you get fucking nervous, then you shouldn't be doing it.
What goes through your mind is to get from one side of the stage to the other without tripping over anything. Because the last thing you want to do is look like a twat in front of your fans.
I remember when we first met, I interviewed you. I think it was your first TV interview in a guitar shop in Denmark Street, and you guys were just getting ready to go off and play the Marquee.
Yeah,
just kind of sort of thinking back to that sort of like time.
Yeah.
You know, what were your sort of like your hopes and your aspirations for Oasis then? What would have success equalled to you back then?
Everything's gone as according to plan. I think I'm quite happy with it.
I was reading an article the other day, and there was an interview by me from 1994 before the first single came out, and there was a list of things, you know, I was probably drunk, of what the band were going to do over the next 10 years. There wasn't one that we didn't achieve.
All I want to do is put music out. I'm allowed to put music out, and that's what matters. Whether it's good or bad, everything's good. You know what I mean? Anyone who can unlock the chain in there and unlock that in there and put it out, everything that anyone does is good. It's the way I've come to look at it. You know what I mean? Except for certain few people.
It says menacingly.
I've given up trying to, you know, worry about what direction it takes. You know, I write songs on a guitar, so it isn't going to sound like John Michel Jarre, do you know what I mean? It's going to sound a cross between the Beatles and the Stones and the Stone Roses. That's it, it's as simple as that, you know. So, you know, I've learned to live with that now. You know, I won't be making avant-garde records, you know. I'll be, you know, if indeed I make any more records, I'll be making, you know, records that are played on an acoustic guitar or an electric guitar. It's as simple as that.
I don't want to change the sound of rock and roll. I don't want to, you know, everyone goes, oh, you know, you should use loops or you should do this. Bollocks to that, man, you know. It's not, you know, you're not having that one on me. You ruined the sound of rock and roll, you know. Like if you what people going, oh, the bands, your sound of the band should change. No, why? It's our band. We like the way we sound. You know, if you want to change the face of rock and roll, go and join a band and do it. You know, so I'm quite happy just putting music out.
Rock and roll isn't fashionable anymore. Oasis aren't fashionable anymore.
I don't think anyone's really doing anything with rock and roll that's worthy writing home about. I think it's gone a bit stale.
There's a lot of really good songs, but there isn't a great band, you know. Whereas maybe in 1994, 95, or, you know, there was Oasis came as a thing. You know, a great band with great songs, and the same as you have to put Blur in that category as well.
And I don't think anyone's really into it at the moment, so maybe that's why it's coming out in people's music, you know what I mean? But, you know, keep the faith and it'll be back, because I'm mad for it.
One great band comes along once every, you know, 6 or 7 years. You know, so we've got about 4 years to go to find another one.
So what about the future at the moment? I mean, I'm sure, you know, and it sounds like with Oasis, and maybe that's one of the great things about Oasis, it changes every day anyway, you never know what's coming next.
Well,
but you know, asking you, Saturday afternoon, backstage at Wembley Stadium, it's just gone 10 to 6. What, you know, as far as you're concerned? I don't know, I just got to put that in. I just got to put that in there. That's the DJ in there, now.
I mean, them 4 together, on paper, are potentially still the fucking greatest band in England. Even if I never write another song. You know, Alan, I think, is the best drummer that I've ever worked with anyway. You know, Liam's Liam, isn't he? Andy and Gem, you know, are songwriters with something to prove, which is always a good combination, you know. But, you know. Yeah, I could see it going on for the next 20 years, to be honest with you.
Thanks for doing this. You're a star. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Wait, right, I want this one.
Get out.